What's up, everyone? Welcome to my show. Got something in the mail, but I also got a lot of stuff from the stores. But I also wanted to show something else that's pretty cool. Uh, I probably should show it when it's done, but I was like, you know what? The hell with it. Um, in a previous video, I mentioned that I was going through boxes because I was packing and I was kind of looking through stuff. I'm like, hey, maybe I should check this stuff, make sure it's still intact, or it's just stuff to donate. Um, and there's like I mentioned, there's plenty of boxes I haven't opened in over a decade, minimum over a decade, and the boxes are actually, some of them are actually starting to rot. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me switch them to a new box. We'll see what's in there. And one box I had opened, I mentioned, was just a box of nothing but trading cards, just like tons and tons and tons of trading cards. I've gone through little more than, well, almost half of the box. I found like tons of DC cards, uh, tons and tons of Spider-Man cards, Wolverine cards, and I found a lot of these, which I'm hoping when I go through the other gist of the parts of the box, whatever, I'll find the rest of it. But I found my X-Men cards. Now, back in the day, this was actually the one and only set that I had complete. I had all the X-Men cards. I bought a box, saved my money. I'd gotten a full box of them, and but as you can see, might be able to see with this camera, it's kind of holes. I'm missing cards, so I'm hoping they're still in that box. Otherwise, it's gonna suck. But like I said, I saved my money. I bought a box. I was a kid. I was 12 years old, so buying a box, $60 box was I think it was $60. Took a while. Yeah, I remember getting home. Actually, I didn't even make it home. I went to the pizza place as I was walking from they had a card shop that actually just sold nothing but trading cards. It was near the comic book store, which the card shop went out of business against the comic book store, just kind of kicked their butt with prices. But I remember going in there. I bought the box. I'm like, oh my god, and I was walking. I'm like, let me go get some pizza. I was like, I have $5 left over. So I went to the pizza place. Got 2 slices of pizza and a soda. I remember sitting there. It was the summertime, and I remember sitting there and I was like, the hell with it. I just started opening the box. I started opening packages and packages. And the pizza place guy, I knew him pretty well. Like I was always in there all the time. His name was Dan. He was a cool guy. I was always in there playing Mortal Kombat or something like that. So he's just kind of like, do you want a bag? Do you want a box? And I'm like, yeah. So I was just brushing all the wrapping into the thing, and he's like, all right. He's like, what'd you get? I was like, I got this. He's like, oh. I was like, I got a hologram. He's like, yeah. And he was kind of rooting for me. He's like, yeah. He's like, maybe we get them all. And I remember I went through the entire thing, and I had 1 pack left, and I was missing like 1 hologram. I was missing the checklist, and I was missing a couple of cards. And I'm like, oh man. He's like, hey, you don't know, man. You don't know. He's like, you still got the 1 pack. He's like, let's see what happens. He's like, let's see what we got. He's like, let's see what we can do here. Like I said, he was a cool guy. It was just kind of fun. And he was getting into it. He's like, all right, come on. He's like, you're going to get that hologram. And let me show you. Like, I was missing, you can see this is like a kind of collage. I was missing the Wolverine one in the middle. And I was missing the checklist. I was missing a hologram. And I was missing, I think, like, ironically, I think it was a Juggernaut. But I actually have the Juggernaut here. And I opened the last pack. And lo and behold, man, it was like the ultimate pack. The Wolverine one was the first card. I'm like, yes! He said, you got one? I'm like, I got the Wolverine. I was like, the whole thing right there. And the next one was the Juggernaut. I'm like, the Juggernaut! I was like, yeah. He's like, all right. And as I gone through, there we go. I had the checklist, and I had the last hologram, which was the X-Men one. Which is, you can't really see it too well with the camera, but it was this one right here. Kind of can't, no, you really can't see it with the glare. Kind of, there's Wolverine. Trying to get it, so, you kind of see the X-Men. But, and the guy Danny, she's like, wow, he's like, that's lucky as hell. I'm like, yeah. So I had all the cards when I was a kid. I remember calling my friend up. I'm like, dude, I have all the X-Men. He's like, no. I was like, I bought a box. I was like, I have all the holograms. I have all the cards. He's like, do you have any doubles? I'm like, yeah. So, of course, we made arrangements. My friend's like, I'm going to come over this weekend. Don't trade your doubles. I'm like, no. And he came over and picked me clean of most of my doubles. But I'm hoping, like I said, in the box, like I said, that's probably where they've been sitting. I haven't gone through the whole box yet, so I'm hoping the rest of the base cards are in there. Because I have all the holograms. Those I kept in the sleeves. But the other cards, I remember when I was a kid, I was kind of like, after about a couple years, I think when I wasn't out of comics, but when the comic book store I went to burnt down, and I kind of was out of the collecting thing, I remember just throwing them in a shoebox with everything else, and that shoebox turned to another shoebox, another one, until it eventually became a big box full of just cards. And I remember keeping the holograms in like the thing because I knew it was like, oh, they're gonna be worth millions of dollars. Yeah. But so those are the only ones I actually kept like in great shape. So the other ones, some of them are bent, but what the hell. But it was the first series I ever had the full collection of. But like I mentioned before, when you get the boxes, you're not guaranteed to have all the cards. Because I remember my friend had bought, when Marvel Universe Series 2 came out, his mom bought him the full box, and he was like, that was the first thing. I was like, I get you doubles. He's like, yeah, I know. And he had opened the box, and he didn't get the checklist, he didn't get one of the holograms, and he was missing like 5 cards. And he's like, I got the whole box, what the hell? I'm like, that happens, man. I remember one pack, which was funny as hell. Oh, man. I I still remember the look on his face. Because I was shocked. We were sitting in his bedroom and we were listening to some music or something like that, cassette, or the radio. I think it was Z100. We're sitting there and we're going through these cards. And it was his box, so I wasn't going to open any packs. So, he opened all the packs. He opened one pack, and the Marvel Universe Series 2, I remember he opened one pack, and it was, I think it was like 5 cards in a pack, or 6. It might be more. I don't remember how many were in a pack. But it was all Havoc. And he's like, what the hell? He's like, oh, Havoc, I needed him. Oh, Havoc, okay. What the? And the whole pack was, and he's like, he's just looking at her, he's like, what the hell? What the hell? He's like, he was so pissed off, and I was like, I get that double. He's like, yeah, whatever. So he had so it was kind of cool, because I got the double of his, because I needed it for my collection. So he had doubles for himself, so, yeah, it was just funny as hell. So that was that anecdote. Now let me show you what I got in the mail. This is going to be a long video, because I got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I got fur in my mouth. Sorry, cat came by and whacked me with his tail. Got this in the mail. I've been kind of on, I'm going to give you the thing right now, kind of been on an X-Men kick lately, so now you kind of know what it is. Because they've been kind of cheap. Like, I was going after Spider-Man hardcore, for months, and Spider-Man, the issues were just getting way too expensive, especially for some, like, the newer stuff from, like, the 600s. The prices they want are just insane, especially in comic book stores, and eBay is just as bad. So it's, I'm like, you know what? As much as it pains me, because I really want to get, like, from 100 up, I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop with Spider-Man, because he was the one I was really going after hardcore stuff, like, because, everyone knows, watch his channel, and Spider-Man's my favorite. Always has, well, he not always has been, but always will be, I guess. Like, I guess he always has been. When I was a little kid, and I even wasn't collecting, I was still into Spider-Man. Watched the cartoon, I watched the TV show, and I was always amazed. Hey, even though I'm deathly afraid of spiders, I'm getting better at it though. Spider-Man's my favorite hero, so that's crazy, right? But anyway, I started going after the X-Men stuff because the X-Men stuff was getting pretty cheap, and I'm like, hey, what the hell? Let me try to do the X-Men stuff. Hang on, damn fur. I got it like on my tongue somewhere. I can feel it. It's annoying. I hate that. It's annoying. I can feel the fur. But so don't mind my bad manners. I'm like, oh. But anyway, basically what I've been doing with my collection in general is either trying to go for the whole thing if it's something that's obtainable, like like New Warriors. Like I have number 1 up to like number 40 or 50 or something like that. Oh, my nose is itchy now too. Damn fur. Or I'm gonna get into a fight, whichever. There it is again. Yeah, so it's gonna be bad. Anyway, one more time. All right, we're good. What that was like? So like certain like series like Wonder Man. Like I think I'm missing like 1 or 2 issues in Wonder Man, his '90s series. To have a complete like Darkhawk, I'm missing 2 issues. Sleepwalker, I started going after. The New Warriors, I was going after. Just stuff like that. But like stuff like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, or the Uncanny X-Men, where it's it's not impossible to get the books, but you have to be very patient and have probably a hell of a lot of money to get some of the earlier issues. My idea was from 100. Hang on. Yes, I got it. Yeah, I got the fur. Yeah, we can move on. Oh wait, there's another one. Now I got the fur. Yeah, see, fuzz. Sorry about the grossness. But now I know more fuzz in my mouth. Because everything like with not everything, but the comic books, 100 down is usually they're expensive. Usually. give or take, not always. So my goal was, hey, all the stuff I have, the Amazing Spider-Man and the Uncanny X-Men, my goal was to get from number 100 up, like to have the whole run from 100 up. And then everything else before that would be like, icing on the cake. Like, oh, I got that. All right, cool. So it's doable, but like, again, there's certain issues. Like X-Men number 100 is kind of pricey. 101 is extremely pricey. And then, sporadic. 201 kind of gets up there. 266 is bad, kind of, I have it already, but, it's up there. So you gotta watch. You gotta pick and choose your battles. Same thing like Amazing Spider-Man. Thanks to Comic Hijinks, I have number 100 now. Yes. But you look at it like 101 is pricey. 129 obviously is pricey as hell now. 121 is a bitch, so it's... But the way I look at it, from 100 to 700 with Amazing Spider-Man, I'm picking and choosing my battles. Hey, I was like, all right, I have the Ace Edition of 129, so that's cool. I kind of have it. I don't have the real one, but I have the fake one, so we're good. We have a filler. I have 122, which I've shown I was, amazing, and then I got that for such a cheap price. So if I'm only missing like 101 or 121, I'm like, all right, I'll save up, and then I'll go after those, and the rest of them are a little cheaper, so it'd be cool. So we'll see. But like I said, I'm really going to ramble a lot of this video. You're going to hear a lot of stuff. As long as I'm not scratching my nose or picking fur out of my mouth. So I went ahead and got this. I might have overpaid. I don't think I did. I really don't. I'm happy with what I paid for it. So, again, that always comes into play. If you're happy with what you paid for it, you didn't really overpay. What I'm trying to do mostly with comics is stick to my guns and not go over $5 or $6. Like, I'm kind of like, all right, I don't want to spend any more than that on certain books. This, I kind of got into a bidding war, so it kind of, went a little crazy. But let me show you what it is, and I'll tell you what I paid for it. Uncanny X-Men number 171. It's when Rogue joins the team. This is near mint. The guy didn't lie about that. It definitely is in perfect shape. It just doesn't look it because the bag is kind of rotty, so I got to change out the bag when I get bags and boards. But this is really cool. I actually have the classic X-Men version of this where it tells the story. And I love the story. It was great. And I always wanted to get the real one. Now I got it. Paid $9 for it. $9. It was free shipping. But I had put $6 down on it originally when it started the bidding at like 99 cents. And nobody was bidding on it. I'm like, hey, I'm going to, I counted my chickens before they're hatched. I was like, no one's going to get it. The day that it was ending, about 10 minutes before it ended, it went from 99 cents to $6.25. And I'm like, and it had like a 15-day thing. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I was pissed. I'm like, you know what? I'm not losing this thing for a quarter. I'm going to put in a higher bid. As much as I didn't want to go past $6, I'm like, you know what? The hell with it. So I waited a little while. It was like about a minute and a half before it was over. I put in a $10 bid. And I was like, all right. I sat there and watched the clock going. And nothing was happening. And then about maybe like 10 seconds before it was over, it started to go up. It was $6.50, $6.75, $7.25. And I'm like, you got to, and there were multiple bidders, so it wasn't just one guy. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I was like, there goes that. And at the last second, it hit $9. And I'm like, I was like, and it was over. I'm like, did I get it? Did I get it? And it's like, you won. I'm like, yes. So I paid $9 for it. But like I said, I'm not too pissed about it. I would have loved to have paid $6. But it's actually in really good shape. And it's one that I wanted for a while too. So I'm like, all right, I'm not too pissed. This video is going to be long. Sorry. Anyway, moving on to what I went to the stores, got a few things. I put this over there so it's not destroyed by the cat. Found a few things that I'm just thought were cool. I guess. Show you these two things that I got. I kind of jumped on the bandwagon a little bit. I'm not really hardcore into it like a lot of people. Some people I know. One guy I work with is like obsessed with these, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Seamus. Seamus is trying to. What are you doing? I'm making a video. You can't be on this one because you're too heavy. I can't pick you up. I'm sorry, guy. He's just sit there. He wants to be pet, so I'm gonna pet him while I tell you. But like I said, one guy I work with, he's kind of hardcore with them. Like he loves them. He's like he doesn't get them. Which is why I don't feel too bad. He doesn't get these things to put them into the game. So now you know what they are. He just gets them because he likes to collect them, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. Me, I'm probably going to be the same way if I start collecting them. But really, what I did with these, I looked at it, I was like, I don't have anything like that. I don't have this. And I was kind of looking at it. And if I get my way and I get a house and I get a movie room, one of the display cases I want to do was going to be strictly video game related stuff. I have tons and tons of video game toys and collectibles that I would love to put in there. And the reason I got this and kind of jumped on the bandwagon, like I said, I was looking around, and this guy was on clearance, and I'm like, hey, that's really cheap, because they usually go about $15. Unless you go online, they're even more. And I looked at it, I was like, hey, you know what? I mean, I love the character, I always have, since the beginning. And he was really cheap, and I was waiting for him to go down. He never did, and I'm like, it's never going to happen. And it finally did. It went on clearance. I guess getting ready to put in the new stuff. But that is King Koopa himself of the Amiibos, Bowser. It's pretty hefty. So if you're a gamer, he goes onto the video games, the Wii U or the Wii, I don't know, DS. I don't know how it goes for. But I just really wanted him as the figure. The way I look at these things is, like I said, the one guy I work with, he collects them as just figurines. He's like, hey, you know what? We said the same thing. I was like, they're cheaper than statues. Like, they're expensive, but they're cheaper than a statue. So I got him because like I said, hopefully if I get my house, I'm going to do a display case with video game stuff, and I really want to put him in there. So he's going to stay in his box. I only paid $5 for him. He was on clearance for $5 at Target. Pretty damn cool. And then I saw this character, and I'm like, you know what? I really don't have anything with this guy other than like the villain, like not villain, but let's say ally, I guess. And I was like, what the hell? And he was pretty cheap too, considering for the other ones. And the one guy that was there, he's like, oh, I just put him out. And I'm like, all right, cool, because I grabbed one, and then like 2 seconds later they were gone. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. I've always been a fan of Sonic since he came out. I always liked the Potbelly Sonic, the little fat one. But that doesn't exist anymore, but I figured, you know what, kind of see him. So he was $10, but I was like, you know what, he'd be really cool in the display case. So I got him as well. So I was kind of, like I said, I spent a little money. The wife and I went shopping. We went to a couple of stores. She bought a few things for herself, and I got a few things. Of course, my stuff was more expensive than hers, but what can you do? And this next thing I found, this was buried in stuff, buried under things, and that's probably why they missed it. I'm going to show you what it is. I'm going to give you a little backstory on it. I had gotten one of these from a friend of mine, which I still haven't mailed. So he's not pissed, because I told him, I was like, my nose itchy again. I'm getting into a fight. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a war. I had mentioned to him, I keep adding stuff. That's the real problem. And the other thing is, the post office, the closest one, is really far away from where I live, so it takes a long time to get there. And I kind of want to get everything together and be like, all right, that's it. I got everything ready. I'm not adding anything. I'm not doing this. So I can mail everything at once rather than, have to constantly go back and forth, which is really hard. So I told him, I was like, hey, you know what? I got your stuff. I added a few more. He's like, all right, stop. He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, mail it when you want. He's like, it doesn't, you don't have to get me anything, because he had mailed me a Loot Crate, and he mailed me some hard-to-get Funko Pops. So my friend, I've known him for a really long time, so he's like, hey, it's no problem. I'm like, well, I want to find stuff for you. He's like, all right, yeah, if you want, you know what I'm into. He's like, you don't have to, but it's up to you. And every time I find, I'm like, oh, I know he'd like that, and I'd grab it and put it aside, and I'm like, all right, I gotta mail that. So I got one of these for him. His is in mint shape. His is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. I bubble wrap the hell out of it, so it's not going to get damaged when it gets shipped. Mine isn't in mint shape, but I figured, you know what? You're not going to see this anymore. So I grabbed one, and that is the Hulk Hogan defining moments. This thing, my nose will not stop itching. I'm sorry, everybody. This thing, like I said, was buried under a whole bunch of like toys. It wasn't on clearance, but it was in the clearance section, I guess. So I kind of made the argument that it was a clearance toy, and I kind of got a little cheaper than it normally would have went for. And as you can see, there's Hogan. The problem with this is it's got a lot of dings on the actual box. You can see it, and there's a scratch going across the window here, over here. You can't really see that because of the glare, but it's like right there. I can feel it. But I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I have the Ultimate Warrior one of these, so I was like, you know what? When I was a kid, Hogan was my favorite when I was a kid. Then when Ultimate Warrior came out, I went to the Ultimate Warrior. I was like kind of like jumping. I'm like, all right, I'm not a Hulkamaniac anymore. I'm a warrior, and I was stuck with the Warrior. until I saw The Undertaker, and then I went to The Undertaker, and I've been an Undertaker fan. Like, I'm still a Hogan fan. I'm just not gigantic like I was when I was a kid, and I'm still a Warrior fan, but I'm not as crazy as I was. I've been sticking with The Undertaker, which SummerSlam was last night, which was interesting. Very interesting stuff. But anyway, these are recalled. These have been pulled from stores. They're not supposed to exist anymore. And I guess Target missed one. So there it is. Basically, if you know the whole Hulk Hogan thing, like he was accused of being a racist. I'm not going to get into it, but you know you can find it online. And all his stuff was taken out. Like McMahon pulled him from the Hall of Fame. They took all his merchandise off of the WWEshop.com, whatever it is. All his toys were pulled from the stores. They're supposed to be anyway. And they're basically erasing him from existence. Like they're taking his matches out of the network. I think they left like 1 or 2 up, but there's just not that much. So he's, like I said, he's being erased. And these aren't supposed to exist anymore. All the stores are supposed to have pulled them. They're supposed to be gone. If you find one, you might want to grab one. I mean, I've seen them. It's funny. A friend of mine had told me, he's like, hey, you know, I sold one for like $600 on eBay. I'm like, really? I've personally seen them go for 100, 150. But I got it. I'm like, you know what? It's a piece of history. The hell with it. If it comes down to it and I actually get, you know, really stuck for cash, maybe I'll sell it. I don't know. But for right now, I'm keeping it. It's going to go well with my Ultimate Warrior. And hopefully, like I said, if I get a display case, it's going to be pretty cool. I have a lot of old wrestling figures I'll put with that. But moving on. It's going to have another discussion. Went to another store. Went to Walmart. And like I said, the wife, we kind of split up. The wife goes her way, I go my way. And I've been looking for this. You probably know what it is already. Been looking for this for a while. For a really long time. And found it. I went to Walmart, like, they're not going to have it. I was like, you know, but I'm going to look anyway because that's how I am. I know they're not going to have it. They're not going to have it. I was kind of like, it's not going to happen. I go over there and I'm looking through all the figures. I'm like, yeah, they don't have it. What a shock. And as I turn around to walk away, out of the corner of my eye, I see this one figure laying weird. And I'm like, might as well look at it. Pick it up. And I found one. c.r.a.c.k.a serpent. Oh yeah, she was laying like this. So you couldn't see what it was. It was like on an angle. And I'm like, what the hell? So I pick it up. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I was like, looking around. I'm like, whoa. Because you've watched my videos, she's one of the ones I've been trying to get for months. She came out in May. What's this now? It's August, and I finally found one. Good God, man! I was sitting there. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" And I was like, I was guarding it like with my life. And I was like, I hope I have enough money to buy the damn thing. And because I had friends in other states, like my friends on my own stuff too. I'm like, hey, if you guys go to Target or you go to Walmart, or you're in Toys R Us, could you look for this? Could you look for this? And my friends are all like, yeah, you know, no problem. It's no big deal. And my one friend that I just mentioned before, like, he's been looking constantly. Like, every week he goes in different stores. He's like, I couldn't find anything, man. He's like, I'm sorry. I was like, no, it's no problem. So I've had tons of people looking for this stuff. And I finally found one. I told my friend, I was like, dude, I found one. He's like, no way. I'm like, yeah. And I found out why this might have been passed up. Which I said, we're gonna go into this whole thing. So like I said, it's gonna be a long video. It's going to be a weird discussion. I grabbed it. I didn't care. Like I said, I didn't care what was. I don't even care if it was open. I was like, all right, it's mine. I have it. Bought it, and when I got it home, I looked at it. You can kind of see this might have been why this was passed up. Like I said, you can kind of see it there, right above her eye. Is like a little white patch. The paint was chipped off, I guess, at some point, or just fell off. So she's got like a little white patch above her eye. So now the way I'm seeing it is that somebody, you know, kids might not have seen it at Walmart because, you know, whatever. And I think what might have happened is a collector might have picked it up and said, hey, it's not in mint shape, and just kind of threw it, you know, which it happens. Lucky for me. And I didn't care. Like I said, I got it home. I was like, oh, she got a little bit of paint chipping. I was like, whatever, you know, I don't care. If I'm lucky enough to find another one of these, then I'll probably open this one to display in my turtle tower kind of thing that I had. And keep another one sealed. But as of right now, I'm not going to open her because she actually is pretty damn hard to find. It's insane how hard that one is to find. And, hey! Seamus is attacking Gizmo. Hey, you two! Hey! Stop! sorry. Seamus has been getting out of hand lately with Gizmo. He like puts his whole head in his mouth. It's just horrible. So we gotta watch him. He's being kind of violent. But anyway, with c.r.a.c.k.a, like I said, she's pretty hard to find, and kind of wanted to go into this, which I always thought was interesting. It's gonna be a nice little story. So sit back, relax. When I was a kid, growing up in the 80s, toys weren't difficult to get. They weren't. Well, they were and they weren't. My mother, God bless her, when the holidays came around, that's when they got difficult, because you know how it is. If you have kids, or when you were a kid, you know how crazy it is. My mother would always tell me all the time, she's like, hey, you know what, your birthday's coming up in November, it's September, we always kind of, she's like, make a list, so I can go looking, early, and make a list for Santa, and have him get ready to get stuff. So it was funny, because I was always bad. I always had one list for Santa Claus, and one list for my mother. I was like, well, if Santa doesn't get these, you can get them, right, Mom? She's like, yeah. But like I said, God bless her, when she used to go out, let's use Saturday morning as a good example. Saturday morning when you were a kid in the 80s, you got up early because you were watching cartoons, because cartoons kicked ass back then. I literally was up at like 6 in the morning, 5:30, 6 in the morning. And I remember my father, like I said, it was like clockwork, like right around October, my mother would start looking. And I'd get up and I'm like, hey, where's Mom? My father would be, he'd get up early anyway, because he usually had to do stuff around the house, or he had to, go to work or whatever it was. But when I was a little kid, obviously, like my grandmother would come over and watch me, or my father would stay home if he was taking the day off. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. She's out. She's doing stuff. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're all right." And my mother, like I said, I remember my father. My mother used to tell me too, but I remember my father would tell me too. My mother would get up at like 1 in the morning, and think about it. Say like October, November in New York. It's cold. It's freaking cold, especially in the morning. She would get up. She would bundle herself up and run to these stores like Toys R Us or Child World or Kmart or whatever, and she would wait from like 1 o'clock, well, let's say 2, because it would take her some time to get there, from 2 o'clock in the morning until about 8 o'clock in the morning when they'd open, or 9 o'clock in the morning. She would wait. She'd be the first one usually there, waiting to get in there to get these freaking toys for me for my birthday or for Christmas. And like I said, I was pretty sneaky, pretty strategic when it came to the list. Like I would have like, these are the He-Man toys I really want. These are the Thundercats I really want. These are the G.I. Joes. These are Transformers. These are the GoBots. These are Mask. These are, Ghostbusters. Then underneath, these are the ones I want if you can find them. I was kind of like, strategic, like I said. These are the Turtles I really want. These are the ones I want too. So if you can't find these, go after these. And like I said, my mom would just freaking wait there until they opened. So think of the that's 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours, give or take, in the cold, just sitting out there, just to get in. Like I said, my mom was amazing for doing that, which you never really appreciated too much until you kind of grow up and you're like, hey, she did a lot of cool stuff. But like I said, like toys weren't hard to get back then, even without an internet. Yeah, that's right. All the kids watching this be like, hey, what internet? There's no internet back then? No. You actually had to go out and get stuff. But they weren't hard until like the holidays came around. Like I said, October, November, they got hard to get because people were going after them all the time. Now with these, like I said, I got in a discussion with this with the wife. We were talking about stuff. I don't even know how the hell it really started. It was kind of nostalgia stuff. I was like, hey, she's like, why is that? Why are you so excited about that? I'm like, it just kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, And we were talking about it, and it's really sad. Like I said, my nose is itchy again. I'm really gonna have to get into a fight. Someone's gonna have to get hurt. It's sad that these things are hard to find, because it seems to me, you see the back if you want to take a look at it, different figures. It seems to me what it is that toy companies now, I apologize, I'm going to be scratching my nose all the time now, apparently that's the new thing. Toy companies now, not saying they don't care about kids, but it seems to me that they're kind of leading towards collectors, if that makes any sense. Like they'll throw, you'll have tons of turtles out, they'll be like, oh, you can get 1 billion of these shredders, you can find these Michelangelos, but we're going to make c.r.a.c.k.a really hard to find. And, because it's kind of like the companies are kind of like, hey, we know the kids are going to buy it because they like the cartoon or they like the character, but let's get the collectors involved. Let's make this hard to find so that the collectors are like, hey, that's a rare item. I have to have it. It's perfect. So then collectors go out and go nuts and trying to find these things. So even if they are mass produced, say if c.r.a.c.k.a has like a million of her out of there, you'll have a collector like, oh, this is hard to find. Let me buy 10 of them. Let me buy the whole thing, and I'm gonna go and sell them on eBay for $100 or whatever. And it's just sad. Like it should be. I mean, like I said, it's not hypocritical. I mean, it might be. It might sound like that, but I think that toys. It's a toy. It's a toy. You can look at it however you want to look at it. This is a toy, and it should be for kids. It should be for kids first. Collectors. I'm gonna say a close second because I'm a collector. Like I said, these I collect them now. Man, my nose. Oh, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I collect them, so I can't be hypocritical and be like, oh, well, it should be just for kids, screw the collectors, or it should be just for collectors, screw the kids. But it should be, the company should be like, hey, you know what? Let's pump them out like we normally do with everything else, and you get them, you don't, kind of thing. But they shouldn't make it that hard to find this. They shouldn't be impossible. It should be in the stores. It should be sitting there waiting for some kid to go, hey, I don't have c.r.a.c.k.a. Yoink. You know what I mean? But like I said, now it just seems that it's more based towards collectors, where it's like, hey, we know we got the kids going to buy it anyway regardless. Let's throw a few figures in there that the collectors will go after. And it just sucks because I don't feel bad, I guess, but I kind of do in a way. Because I'm kind of like, I just bought that one, and now some kid's not going to be able to get that for his to play with because I bought it. And that's that hard to find. But, like I said, then you look at it the hypocritical kind of way, like, oh, well, I found one. Screw everybody else. But like I said, like c.r.a.c.k.a, Monkey Brains, Napoleon, Bonafrog, they're just almost, you can't say impossible, because impossible is, it's never going to happen. And I kind of look at it like it can happen. You just got to kind of really kind of go after. And like I've been looking for this, like I said, for months, since May. It's now August, and I finally found one. So it just seems like a waste that like toy companies are kind of just like, screw you. The kids are going to buy all this stuff, and the collectors can find them and not fight over it and whatever. Which I don't know if it's 100% true. Just kind of throwing my opinion out there, so I don't know if that's exactly how the corporations are like, hey, what can we do? But in the bottom line, it's all about money. It's always going to be about money. It's not going to be about anything else but money. The companies need to make those sales. They need to sell the stuff to make their money. And, it's like, oh, well, eBay makes their money too. And it sucks, like I said, because collectors go ahead and they'll buy 10 of these, and then they sell them on eBay for $100, and the company isn't making any money once you buy the 10 of them, but they've made their money. You know what I mean? So then they're like, whatever. And then the collector's like, hey, I just tripled my money on each one of those. But I don't know. I just think it sucks that they just kind of like how they do that. Like there should be a lot of these out there. There should be all over the place. The same thing. Like I always find, like I could see, like when you do an exclusive, like I know they had with the Turtles. The Turtles, as an example, is they had a Walmart Rocksteady and Bebop exclusive, which I do have. I did find them at Walmart during the holidays, which I can see that. Okay, that's hard to get. That's fine. It's specific to that store, whatever, that's one thing. But like basic toys, they should just be everywhere. They shouldn't just be like, oh, well, this store has them every now and then no longer, and then no other store will carry them. So it's nuts. It's nuts. Like I said, I've had people looking for this one. I've made friends, acquaintances at Toys R Us with people, because I went there one time and I went through all of them. There was I must have went through like 60 of them. And I grabbed one. I was like, is there any way you might check the back, see if they have this? And this is kind of like Target and everywhere else. When you scan the barcode, it's a general thing. So it just comes up, oh, we have Turtles. But it doesn't tell you what they have. So, like I said, the people I went to at Toys R Us were extremely nice. They brought out like 10 boxes of the stuff. And they're like, go ahead, look through them, see if there's the ones you want. And out of all 10 boxes, there was no c.r.a.c.k.a, there was no Monkey Brains, there was no Napoleon. And I was like, it's not in there. Like I felt so bad, and like it's okay, no big deal. We box it up and we put it in the back anyway. And like I'll call every day. I'm like, hey, did you get one of these in? Did you get one of these? And like I said, they're nice as hell. They're like, I hope they're looking. They're like, no, we didn't get any in, and we still have the same ones. Because if I usually get the people that I normally talk to at Toys R Us, I know they are looking. But if I get somebody who's I don't know, I guess, they're kind of like, oh no, we don't have it. I also gauge it on how long it takes for them to come back to the phone. Um, so, like I said, I'm crazy like that because I want to get like a lot of the stuff from my collection. And like I said, I finally found c.r.a.c.k.a, so I was happy. I'm hoping I'm going to find the other ones eventually, or maybe another c.r.a.c.k.a. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not doing it really to make money. I'm doing it for my own personal. I wish the nose would stop itching. My own personal collection, you know. But like I said, these things shouldn't be that hard to find, but they are, and it sucks. It just sucks. But anyway, my video is long enough. I've rambled so much today. But I do have one other thing coming in the mail. When it shows, I'll definitely make a video. It's the last thing, like I said. This was supposed to be the last thing, but I found something else. I'm like, oh god, I gotta stop. Which I am. I had the wife take away my credit cards and everything else. I'm like, I don't want to spend any more money. I was like, because I want to get a house. I want us to have that house, not that house, but a house, and we'll just get it going. So we'll see. But anyway, thank you for watching this extremely long video. I appreciate it. And remember, it's not the size of your cave that matters. It's what you have in it. Later, everybody.